Alright, so wasn't sure how I wanted to do this video, but figured let me start in the one that started it all, the PT. So, little PT Cruiser, first car. This video is pretty much just going over all the cars in the collection and finally reaching my goal of 7 cars or 7 vehicles. And I know when I tell people that, they have multiple reactions like, what do you need that many cars for? Where are you going to park them all? Do they all run? Just the list goes on. You can only drive one at a time. Why do you want 7 cars? One for every day of the week. No, but it's always been a goal of mine just to own 7 cars at once, or vehicles. But the plans are more like 10. I'll go over that at the end. But yeah, just had to start in the PT. That was the first one. I think I bought it right before I turned 19, so at about 18. Was working at McDonald's, managing a McDonald's, walking about 40 minutes to and from work out in North Carolina, staying with my uncle, and saved up enough to buy the PT. There were some other cars I would consider, but at the time there wasn't much in the budget I was looking to spend, so the PT popped up, and it's been the baby Bentley ever since. So a lot of good memories in the PT. I know a lot of people hate them, but I have friends and family, and if they needed a car, I let them borrow the baby Bentley all the time. So yeah, we'll go over each of the cars, and then we'll get to number 7. I've been hinting to it for a while on the channel. Been probably looking last two and a half years. I've been looking, just browsing the internet, seeing which ones popped up for sale and whatnot, and finally decided to pull the trigger on it. But let's go to the second one in the collection. So it's a baby Bentley 03 PT Cruiser. The second one was actually the El Camino. I don't know why, but I was like, wanted a project car, something to learn on, and found this back when Craigslist was a thing instead of a Facebook Marketplace. So the Elco was the second car, and gone through a couple different motors, couple different transmission options, a couple different paint colors. But yeah, that was the second one, and that was I like it. And the third one, this is the one that kind of forced my hand into buying the truck. So I'll go over the explanation on that here in a little bit. But yeah, the third one was the Blazer. I think I got the Blazer in a couple months after I got the Elco. Needed something for the winter. The PT was good, but I was like, let me get a winter car, and decided to get the Blazer, little ZR2. So yeah, and then in between the Blazer and the Camaro, so I'll call the Camaro 4, but I did have 2 bikes in between then. I had a Suzuki TL1000R and a Suzuki Boulevard M109R. So those don't count towards the 7 because I don't have them now. The 7 were at the same time, so those were in between getting the Blazer and getting the Camaro. So the Camaro I'll count as number 4. 2015 Camaro SS, 6-speed manual, the LS3 in there. I know they're a little dirty right now. Really haven't washed them off since it snowed last, but yeah. I was looking for this for about 9 months. I probably test drove every black and white Camaro in Denver for about 9 months. I popped up and finally decided to pull the trigger on the Camaro. So yeah, but Camaro was fun. And then I guess number 5 would be the Monty, or aka Mona Lisa. So if you're subscribe to the channel, you're probably here for the Monty content, or at least the G-Body content. So number 5 was the Monty. I started off as a $500 shell to what it is now, a lot more than $500. But yeah, so that was number 5, and then number 6 was the bike. So little Triumph Speed Triple 1050. I actually went to go look for another bike, and they were rolling this one out. I was walking out of the dealership, and I was like, man, that's single-sided swing arm, the dual exhaust. The dual exhaust reminded me of my TL, and then the single-sided swing arm. Can't say no to a single-sided swing arm. So this one was number 6. Like I said, I had two bikes before, but sold both of those, and I'm happy with it. Nice commuter bike. Doesn't have the top speed that I want, but I don't need to be going 150 anyway. But yeah, so that's number 6. And then number 7, I'm pretty sure you guys saw a little bit of it. A little 2009 Silverado. So yeah, it needs a little bit of work. It's showing its age, but we'll go over some stuff on it, and talk about why I pulled the trigger. It's because of that thing. But yeah, so it's 2009, 116,000 miles on it. But for the most part, it's a nice truck. I like it. I think I got a little bit of a steel on it. Yeah, that just all right. Yeah, we'll go over why I had to pick it up, and some of the stuff done to it, and some of the stuff that I need to fix or replace on it. So like I said, I've been hitting to a truck for a while. I've been wanting a truck, just haven't been able to find the right one. And so the other day I noticed the driveway had a little bit more, or a little bit of oil on the driveway and some drops up under the Blazer. I was like, it's a 2002, so wasn't too worried about it. And then came out one day, and when I said it was leaking oil, it was leaking oil pretty bad. A big puddle underneath of it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to mess with it right now. Don't want to put the money into it. If I need to reseal the whole motor, or find a leak, or replace the oil pan gasket, whatever, I didn't want to spend the time or the money right now with it getting a lot colder outside. So I'm like, you know what? Let me look for a truck. Let me see what's available right now. So the next day after that, I drove the Blazer to work, got it home, and within about 15 minutes, I had enough time to get home, walk the dog, get back to the house, come look up under the Blazer, and there's a pretty good sized puddle of oil up underneath of it. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna cut it. Like I said, I have all the summer toys, the Camaro, the Elko, the Monty, the bike. Those are all summer toys. The PT is pretty good in the snow, but I'm still working out some issues with the motor swap on that. So I'm like, winter's coming up. I need something reliable, and I'm not comfortable driving the Blazer with it leaking that much oil. So I get on the internet, start looking around, and a black, I think 2012 Silverado popped up with the push guard, wheels, tires, and everything. And I was like, that's pretty nice. And I'm on the dealer website, and I refresh it, and this one pops up, 2009 with the 116. And I'm like, man, that's a good deal. I didn't even look at any pictures really. I was like, all right, they're both up at this dealership. Let me go check them out. And like I said, I'm a big believer in timing. Like I said, I don't rush into anything. I've been looking for a truck for a while, but timing is everything with me. Like I said, even when I was looking at the bike, I went up there to look at another one, and right when I was about to leave, that one rolled out. So I was like, that's good timing. All right, it was meant to be. Right place, right time. So I'm online looking for trucks, and they're both at the same dealership. And I'm like, I just got off work. Traffic should be pretty light. Let me go check it out. So it's clear on the other side of town, other side of the city. And I'm like, 45-minute drive. I think I took the Camaro. I was going to take the bike, but I was like, let me take the Camaro. it might be a little bit colder by the time I start heading back. So when I say I got there about 2 minutes before, if I'd have been there 2 minutes later, the truck would have been sold. That's how good a timing it was. I believe that it was the right truck, right place, right time. And the Blazer just happened to be acting up at the time, because I wasn't planning on buying anything. I was looking, but I wasn't planning on buying anything until probably after the new year. So I get there and I start walking around the lot. I see both trucks. They're parked fairly close together. This one was locked, so I went ahead and checked out the black one. It was unlocked. Looked around it, looked up underneath, popped the hood. Like, it's pretty decent. So I walk inside to see if I get the keys to check both of them out or test drive them. And the guy's like, we only let one key out at a time, which I understand. So I'm like, well, let me get the key to the white one since it was locked. I already looked at the black one. And he goes in the back, hands me a key, and it's to the wrong one, but I didn't check the tag. It was to a 2011 Silverado. So I go out there. There's no key fob, so I'm trying the key in the door, and I'm like, this isn't working. Let me go back. I looked at the tag. I was like, let me go back and check it out. So go in, and I'm like, hey, man, you gave me the wrong key. I want the 2009. And when I'm saying that, I noticed the guy standing beside me. And before I got the first key, the sales guy, he was like, are you the one that called me? I was like, no, I didn't call you, but I'm here first. So I went back to get the right key, and there's a guy standing next to me, and he was there to look at this truck. But since I was there first, he handed me the key. And I told the guys, like, hey, man, this one just sold. You can go look at the black one. I haven't looked inside of it yet. I haven't test drove it, but I was like, it's sold. I was just joking around. He was a little disappointed, but because what this truck is, like, in the price range for what it was, it's a steal compared to other trucks in the market right now. So I test drove it and go back. I'm like, I'm not too sure. And the guy's like, well, that guy's here to look at it. And then another truck pulled up with 3 guys, and they got out to look at this white one. And I'm like, I don't know. But he's like, you can put a deposit down, or else, it's going to sell. So put a deposit down, went back the next day, finished all the paperwork, and I got my truck. So that's just a little story on why I pulled the trigger on the truck. It's because the Blazer was leaking oil, long story short. But it's all about timing. Like I said, I know it seems like a lot of vehicles and everything, but I'm not one to jump into something. I think about it, and I've come a long way since since the PT. But like I said, the PT is the first one. It's not going anywhere. So I'll show you guys a little bit of the truck, and then go over some stuff on what's next. So give you guys a quick interior look. It's nothing fancy. Like I said, I didn't need anything new. I'm not trying to keep up with anybody, not trying to impress anybody. I'm getting what I like, and I love the body style in the 07 to 13 Silverado, so that's what I went with. Like I said, it's 116 on it, clean interior. Usually the seats are ripped right here. It's got the little small one, so it wasn't driven that much, or at least not abused. But yeah, nice and clean. I'll go over the windshield in a little bit. But yeah, nice and clean. I wanted the 4-door because everything else besides the PT is a 2-door. So I was like, if I'm doing a truck, I want a 4-door. But the wheels and tires, the tires are definitely getting replaced, and or the wheels, if I can find some factory ones where somebody will swap me out or just do a straight trade, wheels and tires for wheels and tires, I might go that route. If not, I'll just swap out these tires because these are noisy, and I bought it for the winter, so I'll probably throw some all-terrain tires on it. So give those a nice cleaning. But yeah, like I said, has a light bar and everything. Nothing too fancy. Little trim pieces here and there. I do like the bed cover, so definitely wanted that. If not, I was going to add one. It does have the bed liner in there too, I think Rhino liner. So could use a little bit of a cleaning, but we'll get to it. It's a truck, right? So yeah. And I think when I went to go check it out, I didn't even look at the pictures they had posted. I saw the first one. I was like, yep, let me go check them out. So I popped the hood. I saw a couple other ones when I was looking that day, but a lot of them were the 4.8s. I was like, got the 4.8 in the Monty for a reason, because I wanted a bigger motor in the truck. But it's a 5.3. Somebody threw the K&N air filter on, or intake on it, so that's a little plus. It's got a nice little rumble to it, but nothing too fancy. Yeah, I went over the wheels. That's the major thing I want to replace, are the tires. So I want to get some new ones on there, a little bit wider. These ones just a little too noisy for me, and I don't think they'll do the best in snow. But the windshield, when I got it, had those two cracks. So the larger one and the smaller one. And then I was just coming back from getting emissions today, and a semi kicked something up. And when I say he launched it, I was behind him, but he launched it and it was just floating there for a while. And I swerved to get out of the way, but it ended up cracking the windshield. So hit up the guy that replaced the two on the Monty and the Elko, and he was like, yeah, we'll get you taken care of. So getting that replaced next week. Get some touch-up paint for this, because whatever hit it, man, it hit it hard. I'm like, man, not my new truck. Well, new used. And then this was already off when I bought it, so I could replace that one, but that's not a big deal. So, yeah, that's number 7. Number 7 in the collection. And my favorite question when somebody says, or when I tell them, like, where are you going to park them all? Where are you going to park them all? They all fit. They all fit. But yeah, let me hop in the garage for a little bit, and I'll go over what's next. So like I was saying, the goal was always 7 vehicles, and they're all running. The PT's running, but I haven't been driving it. Everything's running. The Monty still needs drive shaft and stuff, but they're all running. Besides the Monty, everything's plated, everything's insured. So it's just toys, man. Like I said, nothing's brand new, nothing's flashy. Everything's just a fun car. What I wanted. Not trying to have anything else for what other people want, what's hot or what's the craze, or trying to catch or hop on the wave or anything. But I'll just buy what I like. So yeah, mostly Chevys. Eventually, like I said, the goal was 7. The plan's more like 10. So there are some other cars planned. So, but in order to do that, I've been mentioning that I wanted a car lift in here. Neighbor down the street has 2 Corvettes, and he has a lift. And I keep bugging him. I was like, man, let me get the lift. Let me get the lift. Or at least a ride in the C8. So eventually, like I said, I like a lift in here. Probably stack the G-bodies on top of each other. Get the Camaro back in the garage. And that'll open up one more spot in the driveway. But before I do the lift, I'm thinking about widening the driveway itself. So thinking about taking it to the property line and all the way to the fence. So that'll be I'll keep it a little shy of the property line, so it'll be 10 feet wide, 44 foot long. And if I do that, technically I could park 3 wide, 2 deep in the driveway. So that's 6 vehicles right there. The Monty and the Elko in the garage plus a bike, that's 3. And then if I do a lift, that'd be 10 vehicles before I have to park anything out on the street, which I'm not a fan of street parking, so we'll have to make something happen. But yeah, once I do widen the driveway, that'll open up some opportunities for other projects. And not sure about what they might be, but I think I want a daily driver. If I could find like a Caprice PPV with the 6.0 in there, maybe even the V6, but I'd prefer the 6.0 in there. That'd be a fun daily. I'd consider one of those. Buddy Nico, he's having some fun in his Fox body, so I'm not a Ford guy, but I would consider a Fox body. Just a different platform from the G bodies. Learn something else and see what I can do with that. Or maybe even like an OBS truck. So those are kind of the three that I'm thinking to make the 10. But who knows? Maybe another bike, like another cruiser or something. So we'll see what happens in the long run. But it's me just rambling. But yeah, so that's the plan with the cars. That's how I reached number 7. Like I said, I've come a long way from the PT. Like I said, just managing McDonald's, saving up to buy that one, and then it's just gone up from there. Like I said, managed the McDonald's, and then went and did security, and then now work on the railroad. So that's how I'm paying for the new toys. But like I said, I had 3 vehicles just doing security in McDonald's. So yeah, you don't have to have a lot of cars. Or what I've always been taught was doesn't matter how much you make, it's how you spend it. So if you're smart with your money, not trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing, and you have a plan, just stick to the plan and dreams come true. But yeah, other than that, the other thing I've been told since I got my first car, like I said, I was staying with my uncle in North Carolina at the time. And you know, when you get your first car, you're washing it pretty much every day, keeping it spotless. And since I was staying with him, he told me, he was like, never keep your car cleaner than where you live. Well, trying to understand where he was coming from, me staying with him and everything, but I still take that into account today. The cars are just the cars inside the house. You know, you got to keep it clean. The garage, I know it's an organized mess, but once you pass that garage door, you got to keep it cleaner than never keep your car cleaner than where your house is. So that's always stuck with me too. But yeah, it's just one of those things, like, it's hard work. You keep at it, and you never know what might happen. So yeah, I know I mentioned the 3 possible project cars, but the ultimate dream car, though, like I said, once you see a Porsche 911 in the in the garage, I made it. Well, I made it now, but that's like the dream car. It's like Porsche 911. I don't know where that come from with all the Chevys, but you can't beat the Porsche. So I might move everything out of the garage if I could do one of those. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how Dash Garage finally hit my goal of 7 cars. But that's enough of me rambling. I'm gonna start finishing up the trunk enclosure, but I just wanted to throw that out there, just give you guys an overview of the whole collection. So go over it one more time. 03 PT Cruiser. I just actually did a 2.4 liter turbo swap in it. Still working out some bugs with that. And then it came to the Elco 80 Elco, then the 03 Blazer, 2015 Camaro, 85 Monte Carlo, AK Mona Lisa, and I had the bike, and then number 7's the truck. So yeah, you guys keep subscribing, keep watching the videos, and it takes off. You know, who knows what might end up in the driveway, but of course, you know what color it's going to be.